Joining me with his analysis of all the news we've heard today, we have Ed Rollins, former campaign manager for President Reagan. Good to have you here on set, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you think? How did James Comey do? What does it mean for Trump?
He's a very credible witness. I mean, he didn't lay a glove on Trump. I mean, the whole question of loyalty, any president is entitled to loyalty. The follow-up question he should have made when the president asked him, if he did ask him, can you be loyal? What do you mean by loyalty?
The past witness, by the way, we should point out that the president never even asked him that.
I saw that. He said, she said, whatever. That's the debate that's going to go on from now on. I think the only mistake they make is just let Comey go away. Comey's done now. Let him go away. He's not going to have any more hearings. The president basically, I think, has been vindicated. He needs to go on and do his job.
Let him go away. But does Comey really want to go away? I mean, does Comey want his moment in the sun here?
I think he's had his moment in the sun. I think he's not going to continue. I mean, if he wants this, he can be in before hearings every day. They're more than happy to have him before hearings. But I think from his perspective, he had his hearing. He's a guy who's had credibility in the past. You know, you don't want to go through this 2 or 3 hour session every day. And there's a committee, House committees, judicial committees, all the rest of it. He could spend the next all summer testifying before Congress.
I got to tell you that I was surprised to hear that about. I mean, everybody had assumed it was Comey that was leaking the memo, but nonetheless, you know, to learn that he woke up in the middle of the night and thought somehow he should get this out and sent it to his friend, who then sent it to the media. It tells you what the president is in fact up against. That there are many people there, and in this case, he'd already been fired, but many people perhaps that are still there that aren't on his side, that want to get a different narrative out.
The majority of people in the government, having spent many years not just doing campaigns, doing, you know, sort of 2 tours of duty in the White House and served 4 administrations. So I know, spent 25 years in government. There are a lot of people, anytime there's a Republican in there, that are against the Republican. They're against the Republican, and there's more than ever against Mr. Trump, President Trump. So my sense is even half his White House staff were not loyal to him before he became president. So I think the reality is he has to step forward and do the job.
How does he turn it around now? I mean, and you've got some experience with a man who in fact did that, President Reagan.
Reagan had great build-up before that. I mean, he won 49 states in 1984, and the Iran-Contra took place, which he and everybody else around him said was the biggest mistake and the most inconsistent thing he had ever done. But the premise there was he was trying to rescue hostages. The Contras had been so his motives were honorable motives. How it happened is not something we need to rehash. But at the end of the day, he came back because the country loved him and the country thought he'd done good things, and they let him out of the game. But he suffered plenty. I mean, his integrity went down. People didn't believe him, and it hurt him badly.
You said the country loved him, and one of the reasons the country loved him was because he was able to do great things for our economy. So we'll see whether or not
that's the critical thing. That's the critical thing for President Trump.
Thank you, Ed Rollins. Good to have you here.